Are you ready to create your ebook, but you don't know where to start as far as creating an EPUB file or a PDF file? Maybe you're ready to share it with some ARC readers. Maybe you're ready to share it with friends and family so they can download it to their mobile devices or their e-readers, or any other reason that you might want to create an e-file or an EPUB or a PDF or any other type of file for your book. Well, today I am here in the office and I want to talk about two very accessible and easy and not intimidating ways to create primarily like an EPUB or a PDF, but we will also talk about the capabilities of one of them to create all sorts of different files so you can share your book, get feedback, just get it read, get it into the right hands, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, we will get straight into the tutorial and the first program that I'm going to talk about, which is Calibre. So here I have got Calibre up already. And basically, Calibre is a free program that you're going to utilize in order to create, well, there you go. Calibre is the one-stop solution to all your ebook needs. And so this is a program that you're going to download. As you can see on that third option right next to demo, there is the download option. It is a totally free program. I've been using it for years and it's always been free. So I really do highly recommend it. It's got a lot of great functionality, especially if you are a more advanced user of like HTML, which I really encourage a lot of people to take advantage of. HTML, there is a little bit of a learning curve, but at the same time, it'll allow your book to be read on pretty much any type of device. But anyways, Calibre has a lot of functionality to pick up HTML, but also just has great functionality. It's really user-friendly to create any type of file. You can also convert different types of files. Let's say, you've been sent a certain type of file from an author and you'd like to convert it so that you can use it with your specific type of e-reader. Calibre is basically going to allow you to do all that. So all you got to do is hit download. It's free, and then you'll get it. So let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like. It's going to open up here to your Calibre library. And you can see there's a quick start guide, I think from the developer of Calibre, which you might be able to get rid of, but I just left it on there for now. I also have a couple of previous file uploads on here. And these actually I created earlier with Reedsy. And the reason I have left these here is because once I got into the Reedsy portion of exporting a book file, I found that it really took a long time and I didn't want to just sit here and wait for it to run. So I have left these up here for our Reedsy demo. But for now, we'll just look at what Calibre is offering. And so you can see here there's a number of options: add books, edit metadata, convert books, view, get books, yada, yada, yada. You can also organize your library in a number of ways: authors, languages, series, formats, publisher. So if you work with a lot of e-files and EPUBs and different types of digital book files, you might find Calibre really, really helpful in organizing all of that. For the most part, for me, for self-publishing, the functionalities that I use the most with Calibre would be add books, edit metadata, and convert books. And so what we're going to do is, let's just say I finished a book and I'm ready to create an EPUB format or a PDF or whatever. But for the sake of this tutorial, we'll say I'm going to create an EPUB, which is pretty much the standard now. I know some readers still use Mobi, and some people may want different types of formats. But for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to say we're going to create an EPUB. So let's say I'm ready to do that. I'm just going to go to add books, and that's going to basically allow me to create a project. And so when I go to add books, I'm going to find my project, which is already stored on my computer as a docx or a Windows file. I'll go ahead and open it up, and it is telling me that I already have an it backup in my library. I'm just going to say okay, so I can add another one that's not from Reedsy. And you can see now that it has added my file. It doesn't know who the author is. It's got the date, the size of the file, and I'd say this one is about 40,000 words. So you can kind of get an idea of what I'm working with. So here is that project that I just created. If I wanted to go in and add an author, I could go here to edit metadata, and I could just do it like that. Sorry, I had to slide that window on over. But yeah, here I would be able to add, an author. I'm just gonna do my initials. I could add a series, author sort. It might try to sort it for you. Let's see if it will. I've seen it do RK before. But let's say you didn't want it to do that. You didn't want first name or last name, first name. You could certainly just do it any way you want, I guess. Number, there's only one of them. Oh, it didn't like that. Okay, let's see. Will it like that? Okay. Probably because I'm just using my initials. I think if I was using a first name and a last name or like an actual pen name, it would try to sort the other way around. But for the sake of simplicity, we'll leave it as that. But anyways, this is editing metadata. I could change the title here if I wanted to. I could change all sorts of details about it. I could upload a cover. You can see here using the browse functionality, I could remove a cover, download a cover. There's certain tags I can use, publisher, and here you can see my actual file that I'm getting ready to convert. And so we'll just X out of here. But if I wanted to, I could just go down here to save. But right now I don't really care about the metadata, so I'm just going to leave it as is. So I've got my project added here, and you can go back and edit metadata anytime. So here's my IT backup. This is just the initials of an old project of mine. I didn't write it. And we're going to go to convert books. So once we do that, it's going to open up this convert window. You can see here's our option for metadata again. The input format is my docx file. The output format is over here on this side. And you can see that there are a lot of different files that Calibri will create for you. We've got an EPUB, we've got a Mobi, which some e-readers still utilize. We've of course got docx, HTML-Z. You can create a PDF file, which is another common one. You can do rich text format, a text file. You can even do a zip file. So all kinds. I'll be honest, I don't even know what some of these are, but all kinds of outputs that you can get with Calibri, which is actually really nice. And so I'm just going to leave it on EPUB. There are a number of options here for like formatting the book. For the most part, I didn't really use a lot of these. Even when I used HTML, there's a lot that are pre-filled. There's a table of contents section that you can mess around with. This project is kind of like a rough project that I hadn't added a table of contents to. And later when we look at Readsy, we'll kind of see that Readsy has a little bit of a, its acuity for finding your chapters is actually really good. But Calibri can also do that too. You can see that you can insert a table of contents that you can name table of contents. You can choose to do no default cover if you don't want it to create its own default cover from like the metadata that you've uploaded. You can basically do all kinds of different options here. And like I said, Calibri is really good if you're using HTML to format your book, which I have done before. But for now, we're just going to upload this docx and see how easy it is to, to go ahead and just do what we need to do here. Let's see. My window's like super small. Come on, window. I just want it to show the bottom part where we hit OK. Let's see if I can just hit it that way. Okay, so down at the bottom there was a little thing to hit OK, but my window didn't want to get it. But it is converting my title now, and it just takes like 2 seconds. And you can see now I have this EPUB here, which I'm able to click. And so if I click EPUB, it's going to go ahead and open it on its own reader. This is a default cover that we could have chose to leave off, but since we didn't, it's just basically creating its own little way to present the book to you. And so you can see here now we have a nice little organized EPUB. It did not create a table of contents for me because I did not format one. But basically it's all laid out pretty nicely. Margins are a little bit big, but probably because I just uploaded the raw file to it. And it might just be my window too. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, I think I just like had really big indents on this old project. But yeah, it'll basically just create a really nice readable EPUB file for you. It'll save it in Calibre as well, so you can go here and left click it, or depending on, if you're using your mouse for what. But anyways, left click, right click, and here you can see that you can delete it if you don't like it. You can also save this to disks, and so that would basically allow you to save it to your computer, and that way you're able to email it to people. You can upload it to ArcSites or whatever site you want to. And all kinds of things. The EPUB is yours to do whatever you want with. And it would be the same thing if I wanted to then take this project and I want to convert it to a PDF. I would just select PDF. And I think a lot of these options stay the same for PDF. There might be some specific PDF settings here, but just for the sake of expediency, I'm not going to mess with those too much. We'll hit OK again. We'll allow it to work its magic. Let's see how fast it's going to generate this PDF. Let's see if it does it as fast as it did the EPUB. And one thing I noticed about Calibre is it's really, really fast. So we're going to look at Readsy later. And Readsy, yes, has some great smarts built into its program, but Calibre is just fast as lightning when it comes to converting these books. So that's kind of one thing that I really enjoyed, or do enjoy, about Calibre. So let's see if we can open up our PDF. I don't know if I have a thing to open up PDF with, so. But I just opened it up on my web browser here. So we can see that we've got it all set up here now. It's a PDF. Nice little neat PDF that we can look through, and it's all set up and ready to go. So good stuff from Calibre. Really easy to utilize as far as getting your book on there, storing it, and then storing your projects too. So we've got our original doc here that we converted from. Now we've got our EPUB, and now we've got our PDF. And it will create as many different file types of those as you want. So you can also save your PDF format to disk. So save it to your computer so that you can send it to people. And there you go. Pretty easy. Like I said, Calibre is totally free. It is an external program, obviously, that you have to download. But I've always found it really user-friendly and just handy. It's just a handy program. So now we'll go ahead and talk about the other program that's in the mix, and we will talk about, we're going to talk about Readsy. And so Readsy is another option for you to utilize, and obviously this is web-based, and it's cool. I hadn't used Readsy before because I've been using Calibre, but I kind of wanted to talk about two options that you might want to use. Obviously, Readsy requires you to create some kind of user interface on it, like log in with your Google account or just create an account of some sort. It does have free functionalities, which are great, but there's also premium features, as opposed to Calibre, which does not make you log in or create any kind of username. I guess that's also, maybe the risk of using Calibre is that it's just kind of based on the computer that you're using it on. So let's say you use a number of different computers, maybe you have a laptop and a desktop. You're not necessarily going to be able to, access your library on Calibre in the same way, I don't believe. So, you might just want to do your EPUB publishing on one computer. But anyways, we will talk about Readsy now. You can see here that there's create book. You can create a book straight on Readsy and write it on Readsy if you want to, but I also just did import book where I imported my document. So you can see here, if I hit import, it's going to allow me to upload my manuscript. They accept they accept docx and ODT files up to 250 megabytes. So you can just upload it straight there. You can create your book title, your subtitle, all kinds of stuff like that. I already did it, so I'm just going to cancel out of here. Here it is. So here is the program, or excuse me, the document that we were just working with. Right now it's opening up Readsy Studio. It's showing me all these things. And this is where Readsy's kind of smart because it knows exactly where my chapters were, whereas Calibre, since I didn't mess with any of the functionalities or set up HTML on it, it was kind of confused as to where my chapters were. So that's kind of one cool thing about Readsy. But we're going to go to Manage. And here on Manage, we can see that we've got settings, exports, access. And so if I'm ready to create my EPUB book on Readsy, I'm going to go to exports, and we're going to see that we have a print ready PDF or an EPUB. In this case, when I created this file in order to do this tutorial, I noticed that if I didn't hide chapter numbers, it duplicated the chapter numbers, which I'll show you guys later. So if you have already your chapters labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you may want to use this hide chapter number so you don't get that duplicate issue the way I did. It also will add drop caps for you, which I think is cool. You know, you can kind of see it here where it makes a big letter at the beginning of your sentence, at the beginning of your chapter. For mine, since my project was multiple POV, it just ended up making the names, like the first letter of the name for the POV at the beginning of the chapter big, which is like, I don't really need to do that. So, but yeah, it'll do that kind of stuff. We've got endnote positioning here. We've got a template, or a number of templates that you can use. Merriweather, Crimson, or excuse me, Readsy Merriweather. You can see what it's going to look like. Classic, or a romance, which is going to give you like this nice italicized beginning. For me, I just use classic. And the beginning also looks nice. Let's see what would happen if I took off drop caps. Yeah, it would just drop those big letters at the beginning. And so basically, if I've got all my things set up, I can go to export book. And it's going to tell me your book is being typeset. Cool. And so now it's going to be converting my project into an EPUB. And this is kind of where it took a while. And so I'm not going to necessarily wait for it to do that. If we go back to Calibre, then we can look at the ones that Readsy has made. And so let's see, was this the first one that it made? It's also going to add your copyright page to it, which is cool. It is going to say it was formatted by Readsy, whatever. But yeah, it's going to do a table of contents for you, which is really nice. And then you can see it did those drop caps on my characters' names, which is not what I needed to do, but you know, whatever. So really nice looking EPUB from Readsy. If we take a look at the first one that it did, we can see that it, you know, because I had said to include the chapter numbers at the top, it just kind of like duplicated it because I already had the numbers there. So just something to be wary of. But anyways, that is pretty much it on those two programs. They both have great functionality for converting to an EPUB. It's just a matter of if you really want to use a web-based one and you want more HTML functionality to really, you know, format your book and personalize it in the way that you want. But Readsy, if you kind of just want a hands-off experience, something super simple. I didn't really have much complaints about it. You know, you have to wait a little bit for it to generate that EPUB, but other than that, it worked pretty good. So hopefully that helps you kind of get familiar with two different programs that you can use to format your ebook into an EPUB or any other type of file that you want. If you found this video helpful, give us a like and subscribe, and we will try to come at you with another tutorial real soon. All right, take care. Bye.